What's good, YouTube? It's Justice I Used to Be Pay, and today I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how Kendrick Lamar essentially checkmated Drake. But before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. It helps me out a ton. And for this video, I am going to be leaving out J. Cole. But I love J. Cole. It's nothing, no weird stuff like, oh, he's not a part of the big three. He is. This is just more so me talking about the Drake and Kendrick aspect of things, because I feel like Kendrick's diss to Drake was a little bit more spiteful than what he said to Cole. Cole, it's just kind of like, you're part of the big three. I'm better than you. Like, it wasn't really that deep, but with Drake, he obviously tried to cut a little bit deeper. So in this video, I'm going to be focusing on the Kendrick and Drake aspect of things. I know I've talked about it already. I know everybody else has talked about it a million times. They've talked the topic to death. I get it. But I really don't want what Kendrick did to be understated, because this was a beautiful move. In terms of this diss and how it was planned, how it played out, what he actually said, and just everything surrounding it, it was perfect. It was the perfect move. It was the perfect attack on Drake. And honestly, it's put Drake in a position to where there really isn't a right move. Like, there is a right move, but there's no like good move. There's no great options for Drake right now. He's in between a rock and a hard place, and it's just because of how perfectly executed this whole thing was by Kendrick Lamar. I'm not going to go over the lyrics because, again, that's already been done a whole bunch, but I just want to lay out how perfect everything pretty much was when it came to this new diss. Firstly, this was a sneak attack, okay? Nobody saw this coming. I don't think Drake saw this coming. This was an ambush of the highest degree, all right? Nobody saw this coming. And also, he did it on a song with Future and Metro. Now, Metro has been Drake's biggest op for the last couple of months now. We all knew that. We all knew that there may be some subtle stuff through in about Drake and the music, but obviously Metro Boomin's not a rapper, so he'd have to get somebody else to do it. But what we didn't know was that Future was also at odds with Drake. We had heard some rumors about some stuff, but we didn't really know that it was that deep to where Future might also have some lyrics for Drake in this album. So we get Drake's biggest op, Metro, and then Drake's former friend, who apparently is an op now, Future, coming together on this project. Obviously, it has nothing to do with Drake, them making the project, but, they're not on good terms with Drake right now. So obviously, there's going to be stuff towards Drake in the album. But then Kendrick sees that, or I don't know if he saw that and wanted to jump on, but you add Kendrick to that mix. Now it's like the Sinister Six, but for Drake in this instance. So Kendrick gets on the song with Future and Metro, and it's an ambush. Nobody sees it coming. Drake doesn't see it coming. They hit him over the head with a baseball bat from behind. All right, that's already the first part of this going extremely well. But the second part is the fact that Kendrick got on the song with Metro and Future, because they're hit makers. Okay, they're club bangers. I know I said that earlier about him getting on the song with Future and Metro, but this is the second reason as to why this was so perfect. They are hit makers. They are club banger makers. They are, people that everyone listens to, right? And of course, like, Kendrick dissing Drake was going to be big regardless. But Kendrick dissing Drake on his own might not have had the same impact that him getting on this song with Future and Metro had. Not saying that like people wouldn't have reacted to it and been like, oh my God, this is crazy, because the diss was going to be good regardless. When it comes to Kendrick, lyrically, I'm sure the diss was going to be fine, even if it was on his own song. But on his own song, we all have to recognize that, yes, Kendrick Lamar's a star, but he doesn't make like club bangers more times than not. He can, but more times than not, especially on a diss, you'd expect Kendrick to be a little bit more serious, a little bit more reserved in terms of like, making like this party anthem. But no. When you throw that diss onto the song with Metro and Future now, it becomes a club banger. It becomes a party anthem. This is a song that can be played literally anywhere. It could be, played by the hip hop heads who are trying to digest the lyrics and really look into it. It can be played by the people that just want to turn up and listen to Future. It could be played in the strip clubs. Like, this song is being played everywhere by everyone. Even the casual fans of rap who don't really listen to rap like that are playing it everywhere. And that's why I say this was a perfect move from Kendrick, because if you're going to diss Drake in just one verse, he didn't drop a whole diss song, do it on a song with Future and Metro, because now it's going to have a way bigger reach than whatever song you were planning to do on your own. And that's not for me to say that like they have a bigger reach than Kendrick, because they don't. But in the sense of like a song that's easily digestible, like that is very easily digestible. Even if you listen to the song and have no idea that he's rapping about Drake, you're going to like the song more times than not. And that's why the song is about to go #1 first week. It's about to be the #1 song in America, because it's a good song regardless of the dissing, regardless of whatever. If you just play it, it's a lit song. Everyone can listen to it. But that also means that Drake just can't ignore it. Because a lot of the times with Drake, people send shots at him, and sometimes he just ignores it. He's like, I'm too big for that. That's, I don't really got to pay attention to that. But you can't ignore the #1 record in America. I don't care who you are. It's the #1 record in America, probably going to be the #1 record in the world as well. So it's not like Drake can just ignore this record and just let it pass by and act like it didn't happen. No, he has to acknowledge it because it's literally everywhere in rap. And that's why I think Kendrick doing it on the song with Future and Metro, certified hit makers, certified club bangers, club banger makers, certified party song makers, I think it was a great move. The timing for this was also absolutely perfect as well because Drake right now is on tour, right? And Drake's doing his thing on tour, and he said he's taking a break from music, so he's just on tour, living his best life, having fun at these shows, and not really worrying about recording music. Now this disc comes out, and everyone is obviously expecting a response, and having to respond to one of the most lyrically proficient rappers dissing you while also being on tour is not an easy task. Okay, it's not. Nobody wants to do that while on tour, but also at the exact same time, it's a perfect move because Drake is making a public appearance every couple of days. He has to because he's on tour. So while he's on tour, everyone is seeing Drake and they're like, oh my God, what's he gonna say, right? It's kind of like poisoning the well for Drake. It's poisoning the well for every single one of his shows because even though everyone that's there is super excited to see Drake. Oh my God, I get to see Drake in person. I can't wait. I'm so hyped. I'm super excited. Even though they are excited to see Drake regardless of anything going on with Kendrick, still in the back of their minds, they're thinking to themselves, yo, low key, like, I wonder if he responds to Kendrick tonight. I don't know. Like, I love Drake and I hope he performs his stuff, but like, wouldn't it be crazy if he responded to Kendrick? And then even further than that, when any of these clips go viral online or any clips from Drake's concert go online, all the comments are going to be about Kendrick because we recently just saw that clip from his concert where Drake is like giving like an inspirational speech about like having his head up high and feeling good or whatever, which it was obviously kind of aimed at Kendrick and what's been going on with the whole rap game and the whole civil war that's broken out. But also at the same time, Drake does that at every single show. I've been to a Drake show. He did the exact same thing. He gives these little inspirational speeches throughout the night. But like still, that one was kind of obviously pointed at the whole dissing situation that was going on. But like stuff like that is going to go super viral. And people are going to be he doing all this yapping, but he don't want to rap. Every single clip that now goes viral from anything from the Drake tour, the whole comment section is just going to be about Kendrick. He could be dancing up and down. Bro wants to dance up and down, but don't want to respond to Kendrick. He could be singing on stage. Bro wants to sing Jaded, but won't respond to Kendrick. He could be doing the part where he has the little diary out. Bro wants to read from his diary, but he won't respond to Kendrick. Kendrick got him in his feelings so bad, he pulled out his diary. Like every single thing that is going to happen now on this tour, even though Drake's going to have a great tour, people are going to love the shows, in the back of everyone's mind, including the audience that's there in person, we're all going to be thinking about Kendrick. We are. And also with him having to be on tour during this whole thing, like he's making these public appearances every couple days. People are going to be breaking down everything he does. Every single facial expression, every single outfit, how he's moving. Does he seem like he's in a good mood? Is he happy? Everything is going to be broken down even further than what they already are for an A-list celebrity, right? When Drake does anything, people are breaking it down in the comment section. Now with this whole thing with Kendrick, they're breaking down everything. Oh my God, why do you think he chose those light blue shoes? Why do you think he had that certain pattern in his braid? Is this a potential like hint into his response to Kendrick? Everything is going to be broken down and he can't hide from the public. If Kendrick did this when he was, just chilling at his house, maybe we don't see Drake for a while, not because he's like hiding, but like you get what I'm saying? Like maybe he's just trying to, lay low and play it chill before he responds. But no, he has no choice but to be in the public in front of everyone's faces because he's on tour. It's not like he can just go to, the Turks and have his little vacation and be on, them little jet skis or whatever. No, he has to make public appearances, scheduled public appearances. So every time he makes those public appearances, everyone's going to be sitting back like, where's the Kendrick response? And as time goes on, people are going to be like, he's scared. He don't want to respond. He don't want no smoke. So Kendrick has essentially kind of poisoned the well on Drake's shows. Now, again, people are still going to enjoy it. It's still going to do well. I'm sure the gates are going to be fine, but like that well is going to be poisoned. And also people are going to be consistently seeing Drake's face while he's not responding. So it's going to make him look like, oh my God, he's so scared. Because if Kendrick doesn't respond to anything, it doesn't matter because you don't see Kendrick. Kendrick's not online. Kendrick's not in person. Obviously, he just did his tour not that long ago, but we don't really see Kendrick. So if somebody says something about him and we don't see him, there's not a lot of hype around it. Not necessarily that the diss, won't create a lot of hype, but there's not a lot of hype for like what Kendrick is actually doing in the moment. But with Drake, he has to be public. So everything's being broken down. Where Kendrick really has Drake in checkmate, though, is when it comes to Drake's response, because there really is no good option for Drake to respond right now, because we can all acknowledge that the verse on Like That is fire. It's really good, and he cooked Drake. Look, Drake, I'm a Drake lover. I like Drake a lot. I'm a fan, but he cooked him. Like, it's the truth. I'm not going to sit up here and deny it. It's true. He kind of cooked Drake. So we all know that when Drake responds to Kendrick, it has to be A1. It has to be lyrically proficient and just as good, if not better, obviously better if he wants to win the beef, than whatever Kendrick just did. We all know that. But also at the same time, we can all sit back and look at this situation and clearly tell that this was kind of bait by Kendrick. He wanted Drake and Cole to see this verse and immediately respond back with something, because he probably has a diss track cooked up for both of them, especially Drake. Maybe not Cole so much, because I don't think there's real animosity there. But Drake, he definitely has something cooked up for Drake, and it's probably fire as well, because for one, Kendrick is a great lyricist, and also Drake is no slouch when it comes to beefs. Like, I know like Kendrick fans have been running around with this narrative like, oh my God, Drake's so scared of Kendrick, he would never respond. He wouldn't dare rap with Kendrick. But of the three in the big three, Drake is the most battle tested. He's been the guy that's been rapping at people and doing diss tracks and dissing other people. Like, he's been doing that his whole career. We got Duppy Freestyle, we got Back to Back, we got Charged Up, we got Stay Scheming, we got a whole bunch of different stuff from Drake, and that's just a couple of songs off the top of my head. There's a whole bunch, but like, we have a bunch of songs from Drake, 7 a.m. on Bridal Path, where he's directly dissing people or responding to people, even if he doesn't say their name. Like, we all knew who he was dissing. So Drake is very battle tested, despite what the actual narrative is that is running around right now. So Kendrick knows that it's gonna have to be fire, and I'm sure he didn't show up to this gunfight bluffing. I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube. I know he didn't show up bluffing, okay? When Kendrick is reached, right now Kendrick just called out his name and said, hey, come over here. That's what he did with the diss, and right now he's got his hands in his pocket, but he's not bluffing, he's not pump faking. He really got it on him, and we all know that, and Drake knows that as well. And Drake doesn't really know what Kendrick has in terms of this diss song. He doesn't really know what's on it. So this is where the situation really gets tough for Drake, because he's probably going to have to make 2 diss songs now. He's going to have to make a response to whatever Kendrick just said on Like That. And then he's going to have to make a full diss song, because Kendrick's probably going to have a diss song literally ready to drop at any moment that Drake responds. So this is where the real checkmate comes in, and this is where Drake has to pick between the lesser of two evils, right? Because if he goes with the first option and responds to Kendrick immediately, now he has to respond to 2 fire disses against him, and probably a whole bunch of exposures and all type of crazy stuff, because Kendrick definitely has some fire bars about Drake, but he also probably has some stuff to expose Drake on, because Drake clearly lives a wild life. He does some crazy stuff, and he's probably got some stuff about himself that could get exposed. We saw that not that long ago, if you know what I'm referring to. But on the other hand, so he would have to make 2 fire responses to one of the greatest lyricists of all time. That's pretty tough. But on the other hand, he has the option of just kind of sitting back and taking his time and waiting to respond, and maybe even baiting out Kendrick's diss track so then he could respond to both disses and just make one big response. But if he does that, if he waits, if he takes his time, if he takes months or whatever, people are going to say he's scared. You're scared. You don't want smoke with Kendrick. You never really wanted to rap for real. You don't want no real competition. So it's kind of the lesser of two evils. What are you going to pick? Are you going to pick the one where you have to make 2 responses to, one of the greatest lyricists of all time, or the one where everyone's calling you scared and you don't really want to rap and you're kind of waiting on Kendrick to fully go in? Because Kendrick threw he didn't throw the first punch. They've been going back and forth for years, but Kendrick threw like a haymaker. Are you going to wait for him to throw another one and then try to respond? Or are you just going to kind of eat it and then sit there and be like, like, it's really the lesser of two evils, because either way, neither option is really good in my opinion. The best one is probably just waiting to see if Kendrick will drop that diss track, maybe trying to bait it out by gloating on Instagram. And I don't know, maybe that's the better option, but man, Kendrick has put him between a rock and a hard place. And I just want to say one thing, because again, I feel like I need to correct some narratives out there. Everyone's talking about Drake taking so long right now, right? Like, oh my God, he said he was waiting 4 days on Meek Mill, but he's waited however long responding to Kendrick. We got to remember that was after he already dropped a diss song on Meek. Like, once somebody drops a diss song, then is when I feel like everyone can start being like, all right, bro, you got to hurry up and respond. But if nobody's really dropped a diss song yet, because like that was a song where he was dissed, but it wasn't a diss song. Until Kendrick drops like a real diss song, then we can start looking at Drake like, hey, bro, like, are you going to respond? But up until then, I feel like Drake can take his time to a certain extent with a level, like with a response. Now, I'm not going to say take a year or 2 years or 6, 7 months, but like, if he takes like a month or two, I'm not going to be that mad at it because, again, Kendrick's responding to First Person Shooter, which came out 6 months ago. So I think Drake can be afforded some time. It's not like an urgent response thing just because Kendrick didn't drop a diss track. He dissed him, but it wasn't a diss track. So in my opinion, Kendrick has successfully won this round or this saga, whatever you want to call this, of this little portion of the beef. Kendrick's won it. All right, he's checkmated Drake. He's put him in a really bad position. I'm not going to lie. But for the Kendrick Glazers out there, I will say Drake is not out yet. Like that, he won that round for sure. And they've been going back and forth for years, but this is like the first real round. They were sparring those other years. Now they're actually getting into a fight. He won that round. I'm not gonna lie, he did. But it's not over yet. Drake can respond. Drake is a good lyricist. He's a great lyricist. I don't care what y'all Kendrick Glazers say. He is, okay? So Kendrick, he's won this round, but it's not over. Drake can respond. He can do his thing. And we could get a very interesting back and forth that we might write down for the ages, okay? It's not over yet, but Kendrick definitely checkmated Aubrey Drake Graham in this situation. But if you disagree, let me know down below in the comments. If you agree, let me know down below in the comments. If you made it this far, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. I hope you have a good day. Be safe, be blessed. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that. Peace.